Hello to my 7 subscribers and to everyone else, of course. If you watched my first video, now you have a better idea about what the 3 most popular US stock indexes are. And of course, you're obviously sitting at the dinner table talking about the Dow. But now I want you to get a sense of what the S&P 500 is. Because if you do a quick Google search for what is the S&P 500, you get so many words that can be so boring to read or even understand. So I think I'm going to use some simpler terms and candy to explain it. So the first thing you need to know is that S&P stands for Standard & Poor, which is a financial services company. And the 500 is for the 500 companies that the index tracks. The S&P 500 index was created after the Dow, and the companies that get included in it are selected by a committee from Standard & Poor. I won't get into much detail right now, but you should know that the companies must meet certain criteria to get into the index and to remain in the index. A lot of investors and even other countries consider the S&P 500 to be the best representation of the US stock market as a whole. This is because the index is way more diverse and inclusive than the Dow. I mean, it does have 500 companies from 11 different sectors. So consider this the S&P 500 index. The index holds a lot of companies. The S&P 500 is a mix of companies from 11 different sectors. So you can take the colors, for instance, as the different sectors, with the IT sector holding the biggest influence on the index. So as opposed to the Dow, the S&P 500 is a market cap weighted index. And just stick with me for a second. What that means is the market capitalization of a company, aka the value of the company, is calculated by taking the price of one share of stock for the company. So how much does it cost to buy one share of that stock, and multiplying that times the number of shares outstanding that the company has in the market available for sale. So for example, if we look at Apple, the price for one share of Apple is $122.25. You would multiply that times the number of shares that are outstanding in the market, and that would get you to 2.08 trillion in market cap. So then let's take a look at Best Buy, where you would multiply $105.57 times the number of shares outstanding in the market, and that would get you to 27.34 billion. So Apple was trillion, this is billion. And then we look at Gap. 21.47 times the number of shares outstanding in the market gets you to 8.03 billion in market cap. And then the market cap of a company determines the percentage of weight that it holds on the index. So going back to the candies, let's just say that this is Apple, this is Best Buy, and the little nerd is the Gap. So even though we have way more nerds in here, the amount of impact that one company with the size of a nerd will have on the index is way less than the impact that a company with the size like Apple will have on the index. One thing that people love to point out about the S&P 500 is that just the very top 5 companies from the list already hold 20% of the weight of the index. So similar to our visual here. Even though the S&P 500 is very inclusive and has 500 companies, there is a big risk associated to the fact that these top 5 companies hold so much weight on the impact of the index. Because let's just say, for example, one day, hypothetically, Apple has some big scandal over a glitch on their products, and all of a sudden people don't trust it anymore. And so they stop buying Apple products, and so their share price starts going down, and so their market cap starts going down, then you better believe that the S&P 500 will have a significant drop, and you will hear about it in the news.
No puede ser. Sí, de verdad que Lucio pensó en ti antes de morir.
No puede ser.
En ese momento tus acciones valen, déjame ver, te digo. Wow, nada.
The good thing about the S&P 500 is that since it has so many companies, If you have one big market cap company whose value drops one day, you might have several other middle market cap companies whose price increases on that same day. So then you have some balancing there. In a way, it's easier to offset negative or even positive results when you have both of them happening, as opposed to the Dow where it's only 30 companies and you have way less variation. Am I supposed to ask you to like and subscribe? Or is that just a thing people do? Anyway, that's all I have on the S&P 500 for now, but let me know if you have any questions because I still do too. Bye!